And welcome everyone back to the Junk Planet. Today we're looking at the Kingdom Hearts 3 Bring Art Ventus figure. This is the first figure ever released of Ventus, and he's the first in the line of Birth by Sleep figures that are coming out. Aqua's on her way, and Terra is following shortly after as well. I'm very excited for these guys. I'm a big fan of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. It's not my favourite in the series, but I do like these characters, especially Aqua, so I'm very much excited for her. This guy here obviously looks very similar to Roxas, which is another Kingdom Hearts character. I assume if you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, why would you click on a Kingdom Hearts figure review? Exactly. But, yes, so I was expecting just a simple reuse of Roxas here for Ventus, but no, they've touched it up. There's a lot of new parts here, and I'm just excited to review it. So let's crack on, guys. Without further ado, let's review. Let's do it. Okay, and here we have the box for Ventus. This is your standard Kingdom Hearts Bring Art box. Nothing too new here. You have the fancy decor on the sides with the Mickey emblems and all that good stuff. Here we have some pics of Ventus in some cool action poses, looking very sweet. Here just says Bring Art, same on the other side. Nice window display so you can see the figure. Same on the top, and there you go. It says Bring Arts on the bottom here. Nothing too special going on here. On the Play Out Sky boxes, they open up at the front, and then you get this nice little readout here of the character. I don't know, I always preferred that, but these are much smaller figures, so I guess they don't need lots of big packaging. It is what it is. Little Mickey here. Another Mickey there. See how many Mickeys we can spot in this video. But yes, there's not too much to say. It's a box. Alright, let's crack on with the figure. Okay, and here we have Ventus out of his cardboard prison, and yeah, it's good. It's about what you would expect from this line. There's nothing too crazy going on here. I don't think it quite justifies the price, but it's still a really cool figure. So, you know, take that as you will. I'm not a massive fan of the character. I think he's okay. I think he's probably my least favourite out of the three from Birth by Sleep. I know that's rare. A lot of people hate Terra, but I like Terra's design. And I like that he becomes Terranaut or whatever. What we'll do is we'll have a zoom in and we'll look at some of this cool sculpt and paint work that's going on here. Okay, so this is Ventus's neutral head. He comes with two alternate heads as well, which we'll look at in a bit. For this one, it's a massive improvement, I think, over Roxas, which didn't quite capture the essence of that character, I don't think. Whereas here it looks a bit more accurate to the game. At the end of the video I will get Roxas and we'll do some comparisons as well with other figures in the line. But yes, I think this is a big improvement. The eyes look a lot more spot on. That has captured the anime look, the anime aesthetic, way better. Here he has this cool armor pad, which got nice and blue paint going on here as well. Nicer gold. The red around here, some minor paint imperfections just there, which shouldn't be happening. They just shouldn't. This thing is very expensive. There should not be QC problems, in my opinion. But it is what it is. One thing I noticed with this, which I did not realise before, is that Ventus is wearing Roxas's like elements of Roxas's outfit at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, which I never knew. Which is it's cool. It's cool. Still don't really get what the deal is with their connection. I mean, I get why it is, but I'm guessing this is going to be revealed as there's something else going on. So here, again, nice sculpted detail. All the things that need to be painted are painted. There's just not a lot else to it. There's creases in the fabric and such. These are all pliable. They're all separate pieces of plastic for his jacket. And this bit here, so it's all sort of just layered on top of each other, and it works really well, doesn't really hinder the articulation too much. So yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good on the legs. It's the same. Decent sculpt, decent detail. These bits here, for some random reason, are loose. I don't know why. It's very annoying. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to go this way around, but you can have them this way around as well. Maybe that... Does that look better? I can't tell. I can't tell how these are supposed to go. I think it's supposed to go that way. But then again, it works either way. But they should be connected down, in my opinion. I had the same problem with the Marvel Legends Cyclops, where he has these little bangles around his legs, and they're all loose, and then they just fall down. It's just annoying, and yeah, not a fan at all. But yeah, we have the same gold paint going through here. Some detail on the bottom of the boots as well. The keyblade looks very nice. No real chain, unfortunately, but that's just a given now. I don't know why they can't afford real chains, because the original Play Arts line, which were a very similar scale to these Bring Arts, they had chain keyblades. There were some complaints that they rusted over time, but most of mine are fine, so I don't, you know, and they're like coming up to 20 years old now, which is insane, absolutely insane. But yes, overall I think the figure looks very nice for what it is. Captures the look of the character great. That's it. I have no complaints with this guy really at all, apart from these dingly dangly bits. It looks like Ventus. It's a great figure, but it's small, and it's the same problem I have with all these Bring Arts. It's just a bit of buyer's remorse, because they don't really go above and beyond. They're like, it's the character, 6-inch scale. I don't see why this has to be nearly £90, or however much it was to like import it. I would happily pay like 40 to 50 quid for this, and I'd be over the moon. I'd be absolutely over the moon with what this figure is. But again, these are complaints. I'll get to them with my final thoughts at the end. Let's take a look at the articulation. Okay, so for the head, it just pegs in like this. So it's the same problem with a lot of the Bring Arts, is that there really isn't much head articulation in the head itself. It all comes from the neck. Luckily for this guy, he can look down quite far because of that neck, but looking up, no, there isn't really any. There's a bit of side to side. It does go full 360. The hair doesn't get too much in the way. It's definitely a better head than some of the other ones. Like Sora, you can barely move his head. It's ridiculous. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the head. For the arms, they go up that far. They go all the way around. They can hinge down and up, so you want to make sure that you have it in the socket, because you can sort of have them go down, and it can make his arms look a bit funny, but you can get more motion out of them that way. So just make sure to click it back into place. A lot of ball joints here, so there's a ball joint at the elbow, meaning that you can go all the way around, full 360, and you can go just around 90 degrees. The cuff here, the sleeve of his shirt gets a bit in the way. The hand is also on a ball joint, meaning you can go all the way 360, up and down, and if you wanted to go, say, side to side, you can just twist the ball, so then it goes side to side as well. And same on the other side, except the armor gets in the way, meaning the arm can't go that far up. It can still go all the way around, but yeah, that's about as high as you're going to get his left arm. For the torso, there's a bit of a rocker, so you can get side to side at the torso. You can also get a crunch, a very small crunch, not the most amazing, and then you can get to go back a tad as well. But there's a lot of plastic going on here overlaid, so that's why it's hindering the articulation somewhat. Alright, for the legs, there's a swivel, the thigh here, very nice swivel actually on both sides. The leg can go this far out, you can just about do the splits, which is great, and it can go forward about that far, which is great. For the knees, they're a bit of an ugly joint. A lot of the Kingdom Hearts characters have very baggy trousers and shorts, so they all tend to function similarly to how they do here with Ventus, so you can get around a 90-degree kick out of that, but then you're left with this ugly ugly looking joint there. that's a design problem with the character, and I feel like they've worked around it as best they can. I think that some of the play arts did it a little bit better, where the shorts are made of a rubbery material, and then the leg itself bends. Here the foot is on a ball joint at the bottom, which you can't quite see. And it's a bit confusing, because this side, there's an ankle pivot. And then you can get it to go this far up, and this far down. And there's a bit of toe articulation as well. Very good toe articulation. On the other side, the pivot really doesn't function as well. And I'm worried I'm going to break it. So, I'm not entirely sure how these are pivoting. I'm assuming it's just on a peg that is slotting into it, and then you just rotate it like so. But it's not going. I think it's just a bit stiff. I don't want to break it, because these figures are notorious for being pretty flimsy. Hey guys, I know this is a bit weird, but I thought I should video this. So after my reviews, I tend to do a bit of photography, which I could put at the end of the video, and I also upload on my Instagram. And in this case, I was, fiddling around with Ventus, trying to get him into some poses, and he fell apart. So this little insignia here goes on his chest, just there. And it's just fallen off. Yeah. I mean, it can be glued back into place, which is what I'm going to have to do. But this is just a perfect example of the QC issues that Bring Arts have. And they fall apart very easily. I really wasn't doing much with this guy. It just fell off. Which is really annoying. Anyway, I thought I'd let you know. Ventus comes with quite a few accessories. He comes with 3 alternate heads, so 1 neutral head, 1 sleeping head, which makes sense for the character if you've played the games. And lastly, for heads, there's this angry expression one, which from first glance looks okay, but if we are to zoom in, the eyes are slightly off, which is very annoying. Because it kind of looks fine, but if you look at it closer, it has been printed in the wrong position on the face, which shouldn't be happening with a figure of this cost. And what's really annoying is I wasn't particularly happy with the Roxas head for my Bring Arts figure, so I planned to put the fighting expression face on my Roxas figure. And I can't do that, because the eyes are wrong and it just looks bad, it looks goofy, it doesn't look right. Which is, yeah, it's very annoying, and we will get to that later with the comparisons. These heads do work on Roxas if you did want to do that. But I imagine this is just a problem with my head, and if you order this figure, it may be fine, it may not be, I don't really know. I haven't experienced this with Bring Arts before, where things have been printed in just a slightly wrong position. But it is what it is. It may not annoy most people. It does annoy me for some reason. I'm just petty like that. I'm sorry, guys. I think it's just like, if this was a Marvel Legends or something, I wouldn't mind. But when you're paying this much, it's like you want it to be. It needs to be perfect. It needs to be, in my opinion. But anyway, that's enough about the head. Comes with a bunch of different hands here. Some grasping hands, to just open palm hands, 2 fist hands, and 2 gripping hands for both sides. And he obviously comes with his signature keyblade. He also comes with a stand. This is your standard Kingdom Hearts Bring Arts stand, and I love the design of these. They're really cool. The only annoying thing about them is that I don't tend to use them with my Bring Arts Kingdom Hearts figures, because they all have such big feet that they stand up fine. They stand up completely fine. You don't really need to stand unless you wanted to get some cool dynamic poses out of them. So these I usually use for my other figures. The only annoying thing is that it's shaped like a heart. So in my main display I have my X-Men Magneto flying, but then if you look down, he's got a nice little love heart underneath him, which is quite silly. But Yes. These are very nice stands. They have different points of articulation. They stand up very well. 2 different grip sizes. Should just pop. These just slot in. Oof, that didn't sound good. But yeah, there you go. And then that's in. And then these open. Very nice stand. Very nice stand. Way better than the first ones they released. The first ones, you had to tighten them yourselves with a screwdriver, which I hate. This is awful. This is a million times better. A million times better. Big thumbs up. Okay, so for swapping out Ventus's accessories, the head is very simple. Just pops out like so. You can take one of the other heads here. We have this angry one, and that just slots in. Easy peasy. Very nice. Very simple. And it stays in relatively well. If you just apply a little bit of force, it'll pop out. But it's not so loose that when you're posing him, his head's going to keep constantly falling out like some of the other Bring Arts figures. Let's give him a head for now. Let's give him a head because it's disturbing otherwise. There we go. So for the hands, very simple. They're just on a peg, pop off. So then just simply slots in like so. Stays in very nicely. On the other side, if we look at the keyblade, I take this out just to make this simpler. So the keyblade pops off like that in 2 pieces, and then you can slot the hands onto the handle, and it just slots together like so. Very nice, very simple. Okay, Ventus comes in, or Ven, if you want to call him that. He comes in at around 6 inches. Just under 6 inches. Okay, time for some height comparisons. We'll start with the your average comparisons, and then we'll do some Kingdom Hearts ones. So here we have Ventus next to your average 6-inch Marvel Legends scale figure. Here we have Mysterio. Next, let's have him up against the I can't remember what this figure's called, but it's from Back to the Future, and it's Marty McFly, and he's in a hazmat suit. Tales from Space, I think it's called, Marty. There we go. Here he is next to a Star Wars Black Series Stormtrooper. This is the newer version. Okay, and here he is up next to some Kingdom Hearts figures. Here we have the original Play Arts Roxas. Here he is next to the Play Arts Kai Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora. And here he is next to the Play Arts Kai Organization 13 Roxas. Finally, here's the comparison I bet most of you will want to see. This is him next to the Bring Arts Roxas. Let's zoom in on these guys. So, yep, they look pretty similar for the most part in the head sculpts, but this is definitely an improvement in the features. The eyes, especially, have been reworked. Let's zoom in a bit better. Get some light on these guys. Yeah, as you can see, the head sculpt is better on this guy. Definitely better on this guy. And if you want to swap them around, you can. So it just pops off like that. Pops off like that. You can put this one on Roxas if you want a better looking Roxas, in my opinion. And if you want a cruddier looking Ventus, well, there you go. I bet for most people they're like, these look exactly the same, and they kind of do. There's just a slight improvement on the one on the right. Definitely. Okay, and that was the Bring Arts Ventus figure. Overall, it's good. It's a good Ventus figure. I don't think it's good for the price. Mine had a few issues. I don't like the dangly bits on the feet. I don't like that being loose. I understand they may have done that for articulation purposes, but it just kind of feels a bit cheap. I don't know. I like my figures to feel well put together and well built. The face misprint on mine, though very minor, it does stand out when you actually put it on the figure itself, especially on a shelf. so I'm not a massive fan of that. But other than that, if you want a Ventus figure, if you're a big fan of the character, and you have the money, or you just want to complete that Kingdom Hearts display, you want the Birth by Sleep trio together, then definitely go out and buy this. It is really cool. It is a cool figure. It does come with a decent amount of accessories. I like all the alternate heads, definitely. But yeah, that's about all I have to say for this guy. I'm very excited for Aqua. The review should be coming soon, as it has been dispatched from Kuribo, which is where I buy them in the UK. And that review, hopefully, fingers crossed, should be going up next week. I have been posting on my Twitter account recently that I've come up with a new upload schedule, because I really do enjoy making these Junk Planet reviews, and the toy reviews seem to be going pretty well, especially the ones that are imports or lists. They tend to do great. I just want to get the videos out more regularly. I've got a brand new computer, which is helping the editing process go smoothly, and the aim is to get 2 videos out a week, on a Wednesday and a Friday. Anyway, I'm just rambling. But this was the Bring Arts Ventus, and I will catch you guys soon. I've been the Junk Planet, and I'm signing off.